Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books. Today we're taking a look at Heath Ledger's Joker and Hypersanity. Three things to understand. Think about Hypersanity as a clock. You have a broken clock, which is insanity, i.e. to tick, a regular clock, which functions into normal society, and then Hypersanity, that sees the human behaviour of society. And that is something to think about within this case study. Otherwise, let's get into it. Number 10. Two introductions. With Heath Ledger's Joker, you get to meet him twice. The first scene is the bank heist. Obviously there are spoilers within this video, but with the bank heist, he is in the car present while other characters and criminals are talking about him, not necessarily to him because they don't know that it's him there.
Should take him out. One less share, right?
Funny, you told me something similar.
No! What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
There is also the other part with that scene with the face reveal. So this is the first time that you're seeing how he can operate on a big scale with so many criminals but still be in on the action. That is one thing to consider with the Hypersanity part, is how he is in on the action, not like your criminal mastermind who stays back in a safe distance.
And so then I went back to the main page and it was sold out by then.
You bumbling fool. It can't really be this difficult to obtain a PS5.
The second introduction is with the mob.
I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone. These cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened? Your balls drop off? Let's not blow this out of proportion.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah.
With that pencil trick, as much as it can be argued that it's fake and set up, the fact is, an injury like that through the eye, he's dead. So with the storytelling in the introduction, he's also showing to have the mass group listening to what he's saying because they're also held in a hostile situation. So with the introduction of the character, that's something to think about with some of your writing. Sometimes you can have a character be introduced twice in two very different circumstances. Number 9. Character inspiration. The character comes from three sources. The first being the man who laughs at the fool of his father. The man who laughs, it's the disfigurement of his face to have that permanent Joker smile. This is where the Joker was first inspired, back in the early comic books. The second character is from A Clockwork Orange, with the psychopath tendencies to attack and to harm people.
And what's so stinking about it?
It's a stinky world because there's no law and order anymore. It's a stinky world because it lets the young get onto the old.
The third character inspiration is from Batman the Killing Joke. When this Joker was created, all Jokers since have been inspired from this graphic novel.
All I need is enough money to get us set up in a decent neighborhood. For crying out loud, there are girls on the street who earn that in a weekend without having to tell a single joke or blow a punchline.
Number 8. The Scars. So with the Scar story, it's a different story that he tells to a different third party in a different situation. This is also important when it comes to real scenarios and when it comes to writing different psychological stories. With this subplot, it works effectively for the character to allow to keep that mystery in place, but it also allows him to have an effect over the people he's trying to control. It may seem weird for a character to reveal a part of their story, whether it's true or not. The point is that he has gamble in a situation of being fearful.
You want to know how I got these scars? My father was a drinker, and a fiend. Why so serious? He sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's put a smile on that face.
At the dinner party scene, there's an older man who's fearful for his life until the attention is taken to Rachel, and then it's a different type of story that he's telling.
I hated my father.
Okay, stop.
I stick a razor in my mouth and do this to myself.
When it comes to Batman, there is a different part within the climax that changes to the story not being told about how he got the scars. Number 7, Escalation.
We start wearing Kevlar. They buy armor-piercing rounds. You're wearing a mask.
Look at the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman Begins is about losing control of your mind and your sanity. The Dark Knight is about being controlled, and The Dark Knight Rises is about reclaiming control. So The Dark Knight starts off with criminals having bigger guns, bigger dogs, and more sinister behaviour. It also has other escalation of other people being involved.
What gives you the right? What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
There is also the other part with the escalation. The criminals are still manipulating through the justice system. Number 6, targeting criminals. This is one thing to think about with the storytelling. He's targeting Gamble to start off with because he was seen as one of the bigger enemies. Kills off the character, and then he's left with one of the other drug dealers and with the Falcone family. So within the criminal world, he's starting to take over, but they think that he's working in with them.
From this height, Foe wouldn't kill me.
I'm counting on it. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal.
Number 5, Two Accountants. With Luau, yes, he leaves it to Batman because, as he said with jurisdiction,
Batman has no jurisdiction. He'll find him and make him squeal. I know the squealers when I see them.
Because sometimes a character will not have to be involved to deal with a problem. They let their enemy deal with another enemy. With Mr. Reese, he held himself vulnerable by doing the broadcast.
Let's give someone else a chance. If Coleman Reese isn't dead in 60 minutes, then I blow up a hospital.
Now, I'd like to also argue, yes, Bruce Wayne's personal accountant, is going to expose the identity of Batman. Put 2 and 2 together, it's not hard to figure out Bruce Wayne needs to be investigated.
You think that your client, one of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world, is secretly a vigilante who spends his nights beating criminals to a pulp with his bare hands? And your plan is to blackmail this person?
Number 4, targeting the average Joe.
Be aware, the image is disturbing.
Tell them your name.
Ryan.
Consider with the escalation thing, that is something that was happening, and it was the same issue that we've heard about with the clown sightings, where it started off with someone doing something on YouTube and it escalated to be worse, and then all across America, it happened here in Australia and other countries.
This is a clown attacked you here tonight and cut you with a knife?
Yeah.
Police have their hands full tonight.
Where there were people dressing up as clowns, and then you had other people escalating the matter, making it worse. So average people were getting involved.
Are you the real Batman?
No.
No. Then why do you dress up like him?
So with targeting the average Joe, the idea is, with this scene, is disturbing, but the idea is to stop that type of behaviour because it was only encouraging more vigilante behaviour.
We don't have to be afraid of scum like you.
Yeah, you do, Brian. You really do. Huh?
And it was also escalating more criminal behaviour. So within Gotham City, it was becoming a city that's harder to live in because it was a dangerous place to be.
So you think Batman's made Gotham a better place? Look at me.
Look at me!
Number 3, 7 stages of grief.
The problem with hypersanity is that it leads a person to being in a constant state of distress and disorder.
But with the 7 stages, you have shock or trauma, then you have denial, anger, negotiating, bargaining, then you have depression, then you have testing, and that's important. The testing phase is number 6.
It leads to a person being in a continuous state of chaos.
And then the 7th is acceptance or resolution. Now with the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker specifically, he is staying in the testing phase. So with hypersanity coming back into the subject matter of Heath Ledger's Joker, he is constantly in a state of chaos.
We're going to use the Joker from Batman. And this might make some of you laugh, but actually this is a serious character study. Because rather than a man who acts in conjunction with morality and rationale, rather than being that type of man, the Joker acts above this standard.
He is able to control the people around him, but because he's in that constant state of chaos, he's also highly intelligent because of that. And sometimes you think about that with your writing. You might be in a state of chaos with some of your writing, and some of your best work may come from that place of chaos. And with that type of point, he doesn't quite get towards resolution because he'll always go on to the next game and the next game. Number 2, society gets tested.
If, however, one of you presses the button, I'll let that boat live. Harvey Dent's most wanted scumbag collection, or the sweet and innocent civilians. You choose.
With this game, the idea is to show that everyone can be just as corruptible as what he is. And it's being in that state of chaos, is being pushed and tested. And with that moral grounds, do you do the right thing? Or do you push the button to destroy the other boat? And if neither boat destroys each other by a certain time, both boats will blow up. And it's that type of identity crisis that people go through to be tested to do the morally right thing or to do the wrong thing.
What were you trying to prove? That deep down, everyone's as ugly as you. You're alone.
Number 1, the real case study. Harvey Dent is the actual case study of The Dark Knight. Now, I know it's argued because Heath Ledger's Joker is memorable, there are so many interesting lines within the story, but Harvey Dent is actually the case study, which is why this video has to go on to a second video, because of who is the case study. Now, Heath Ledger's Joker also targeted the public servants that were known to be corrupted within society. Then, from there, he also allowed Harvey Dent, when he went through his identity crisis, to then take out other public servants for what they did wrong within society. So within all the actions, I'm not saying that the Joker did anything right, I'm not saying he's redeemable or anything else. There are different theories about that, but we'll talk about that later. At the moment, with this type of storytelling, it created other characters to go through that identity crisis and turned to be just as bad, if not worse than the Joker. And he's not having any sympathy for what he's done. He specifically has targeted Harvey Dent, just like in Batman the Killing Joke. The Joker is part of a case study for that, don't get me wrong, but within that story, Commissioner Gordon is the case study, dealing with his identity crisis. But they're other stories, and they shall be told another time.